So, yeah. Can you tell I'm mad? All this stuff. Okay, so... Oh. Be careful.
Okay.
No, seriously now. I love my peeps. So really, what is going on? We need to know. What part is this, 5? Or something like that. So the state of our union. Well, spiritually and everything else like that, how can I say? We're in fighter mode and we're kicking tail, taking names. We're going to get to the bottom of all this. But I just find it very interesting that all of these things that were happening, it's just so funny how things were gleaned from our stuff. We're not writing for you guys. We're not getting paid, not getting credit, and we didn't give permission. If we visit your site, that doesn't give you permission to get a hold of third parties recording our private conversations or any of our videos or any of our written words. If somebody told you that that was legal, you're in trouble, because it's not. None of it's legal. Can't do that. This is our stuff. Obviously, we keep saying we don't want to be bothered. We don't want people listening to us and taking our words and using them for whatever. So, you know, you gotta stop. You can't keep doing this and get away with it. But, you know, love is still there, kind of, sort of, for some of these people. And kind of not at the same time. Oh, we need to cover this stuff. I can't drink this on air because it is supporting a brand. And I can't do that anymore. Not without getting paid. What else? So, another thing about the State of the Union. Certain people were awarded medals, and we had, oh, there was one point I want to bring up. Hold on, let me remember. So much happened. Yeah, it was interesting to make California sanctuary city. We talked about that, or state, we talked about that. Oh, we're gonna find out the truth of everything. And we're spilling our jelly beans out there for everyone to hear and see. I'm not holding it back anymore. There's no reason to. Here's a question. This was also something that was told to me that was on the president's whatever social media, asking who's the first informant, who's the second informant, and who's the first whistleblower, second whistleblower, and the informant. Could be. Wouldn't that be interesting? We're already seeing how things are paralleling. And timing. Oh, sure, they can come up with other excuses, and they may be legitimate, but I'm just telling you, it's still paralleling with our thing, and it's still having the story beats the same as ours. Like, ours came first, and theirs followed. So we put a halt on one of the complaints because they're like, you know what? We don't want any mess of our thing to interfere or be parallel with something else. You know, there's this funnel. It's called a marketing funnel, and you get caught in it. The only way to get out is to get out of the darn thing. So we basically put something to a halt. And we're saying, you know what? We're going to deal with another person. You're not the right person. Because a lot of that complaint was being paralleled, whether intentionally or not, with a lot of things that are going on in the real world. And I'm like, okay, well, let's stop this. So we jumped off that boat and we're like, okay, let's try again. I am really kind of tired of these people. It's really bad. But there was something else in the State of the Union I wanted to mention. Hey, beloved! Trying to remember what it was.
Yes.
Hi. What were some of the things that happened in the State of the Union? I'm trying to mention everything. You should probably get back in here. Because sometimes you remember things that I don't. There was so much in that. There was something in there that I'm not mentioning, and I'm trying to remember what it was.
And then I'll go through each thing I remember one
Okay.
after the other.
Thanks.
Let's see. That guy was awarded a Medal of Freedom. There were several family members that were honored in different ways. You went through all of them?
So far, so good. Check, check.
Several things about laws that I don't remember.
Well, we did the sanctuary state being California.
Yeah, there's something about internet.
Oh, yeah, that being brought to rural areas. And, you know, I really don't want any more internet. Oh my gosh. Part of our problem came from that, so I'm a little gun shy about it.
Yeah.
You know, I understand. In good hands, it's fine. But when it's being used by evil people for evil things, it's not so good. Okay, what else?
I don't remember anything else.
We talked about the Pelosi thing. That was really interesting news.
Oh, there's a foreign president there.
Venezuela, was
Yeah.
it? Venezuela.
Yes.
Attractive man. He looks very professional. He looks like he's got a good head on his shoulders, so let's hope and pray he does. And God bless him, and if he has family, his family. So hopefully he will work well with our leadership, and that we can help their country and keep their citizens there and make them happy there too. That's the whole thing. If people are coming to this country, why? Why can't they be happy in their own country? Well, we got to look at the conditions and what their leadership is doing. And the United States should be an example for that, so these people can also have what we have, but in their way, without adopting our culture. They keep their culture. I like that there are different cultures. I don't like everything the same. It's boring. What else? There's something I wanted to mention. It was very important. I don't remember it, and I don't really want to watch the whole thing over again. We even talked about what people were wearing and what it could mean, and...
There's at the end, when they finished, that one person ran all the way across the,
Who was it again?
Want me to mention the name?
Sure.
I believe it was Betsy DeVos.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Was that the thing that you wanted to
Yeah.
mention? Okay.
There's something else, too, but that was good, too. So, yeah, Miss DeVos, Betsy, she hightailed it.
From the front of the room all the way to the back of the room through a lot of people.
You go, girl. But Miss DeVos, make sure you're on the right side of the issue with us and help us. Your phone is impossible to get through to because it's just never answered. Why is that? And if we leave messages, nobody calls us back. So you got to look into that. Either you expect your office to run a professional way, and it's not being done so because there are holdovers from other administrations, or you don't care. I'd like to believe you do care, and that there's something funny going on that you are trying to remedy, but we'll find out. Again, I'm nonpartisan, so it matters not to me. I state my truth and my facts. So make sure you're on the right side of the fence, and if there's something funny going on, you need to resolve it at your office. But, you know, you gotta help us. She's got one of these, too. Yep. All the letters we sent, everything in here. So be on the right side of the issue, peeps. And we know you get wind of this, even if you don't personally watch our videos, we know you get wind of it. The dead giveaway is when you use our words that we say in our videos, in your speeches or interviews. You shouldn't do that. As a little hint droppy thing. I'm like, what? Did you actually see it? Or is that being planted on you to make us think you saw it? Or there's so many ways to interpret it. But nonetheless, it's hint droppy. And we don't do that. We're kind of done. We're kind of done with that. And we don't want to have anything to do with people who do stuff like that because it's just very rude. And you never know exactly if you're getting it right, you know? Why not be a cool human being and actually reach out and help people, you know? Say it like it is. Do what you say and say what you mean and mean what you say. But there was one other thing, drats. It was very important, and I can't remember it. We did everything, I think. Maybe we did. But the biggest thing that is a problem is what is happening to us and how we fit into all of this stuff. I really think that we need to figure out more things together as a nation, because if this happens to us, it can happen to you. And it's illegal. It's not even fair. Again, I don't know how many times I have to say this, but I never gave permission for people to use things from my life story, whether it's in full, verbatim, cherry-picked, or anything like that, and put it in your stuff. And then on top of it, keep us suppressed, keep us quiet, keep us from, doing what we want to do. Keeping us from doing all of these things is only another nail in your, thing. It's not going to help you guys. You've got to stop. Really, if you want to be on our side, be on our side. If you don't, we already know. It's pretty easy to tell. A lot of people are jumping onto our side because they're like, oh, there's no way to win. That's right, there's no way to win because you were lost the moment, and you did lose the moment you decided to do something illegal. The moment you decided to not give me what I should have had. That whole thing, the McCarthy thing, the blacklisting of people in the entertainment industry. It was already proven that was done once. This is a no-brainer. It's just a new way of doing it. And it's not okay. But again, it's not, how can I say this? We're talking about pretty serious property. And everything that I should have gotten credit for escalated and went through the roof. I'm like, damn. I know I'm good. I mean, people aren't jealous of me because I suck. People aren't stealing my stuff because it sucks. People are stealing and thwarting and pushing me down because they think they have a right. I just happen to be a nice person. I just happen to not be an egomaniac. A lot of people who are somewhat good, a lot of times they can be, very full of themselves, and they do things, and that action, while it's bad, it frightens other people and they stay away from them. Because it comes across, I guess, as strength, or you're afraid of them, or I'm not sure what it is, or you think that nice people are weak. Obviously I'm not. A lot of people are saying these things. They're like, oh my god, Noelle Rose Anderson Kale, she's so talented with dancing. Look at this. She's still injured. She's in so much pain. And you would never know it. Her technique is flawless. They might notice a couple things like, okay, my leg doesn't extend as high yet, and I don't throw my neck as far back as I used to. I can't. It won't go. I go like this, and that's it. And it's just like there's bone there. And they're noticing that, but they're like, it doesn't take away. So I already won in that way. And they're saying, wow, she really is strong in something else. I misjudged her. They're saying it's a backpedal, I get it, but they're seeing what they should have seen to begin with. Oh, the martyr thing. Remember how I mentioned there was that one, maybe two, news media things trying to create an Ophelia-esque thing about me? To hell with that shit. I ain't no Ophelia. I never wanted to be an Ophelia. I could play the role a little bit, but, I'm a fighter. I'm not one that wallows in the self-pity and curls up and dies. That's not what I do. I will never do that. I've never done that. I fight for the truth, obviously. I'm fighting on an issue that's a few decades old and some that's just a few years old, and I'm not going to stop. I'm going to win. This is going to end very well for me and my family and those who I consider under my umbrella of protection. And I'm kicking more and more people out of it because I'm like, you know what? You're like tagging on, just hoping that you get something from me. Go away. You don't even want me to be your friend. You're just like wanting stuff from me. So bye. Kicking you out, kicking you out, kicking you out. This umbrella is only big enough for the people I wanted to have under my protection. And, you know, and martyrs are chosen by God. And that's a very special place. And I can tell you one thing, that is not a position he wants for me at all. You know it. All the martyrs in history, they knew what they were supposed to do. They knew what they were called to do. That's not me. I'm the warrior one. And like I said, that one, maybe two media places, they owe us big time. And we're going to remind them. And the whole thing about the bubble, and, you know, if you're trying to paint me as a woe is me person with any article or anything like that, I will fight you on it when the time's appropriate. It is not now, like I said, but you owe us a little something, so we expect a very nicely written article, one that we approve the photos like we were supposed to. Yeah, you know who we're talking about. And but because of the issue, I was very pleased. I was like, all right, that ain't the best picture of me, but you know what? That's not the main focus here. It is the fact that it was done with at least my heart in the right place. I won't speak for anybody else, because I herald and have been for a very long time to stop women, children, and even men and boys from being sexually abused in any way, shape, or form. Okay? Now, it's not to say if I say, oh, that's a sexy move. That's not sexual harassment or anything like that. That's a compliment. Just because it has the word sexy in it does not mean that that's a come on, a hit, or, you know, anything inappropriate. It's just, you know, that's how I am. I'm a very sexy, sassy, sensual person, and it means absolutely nothing else than that. So yeah, not the same thing. So guys, please, I want you to listen to these videos and understand what we're saying. It's factual truth. We have the proof here. We showed it to you. We keep showing you other elements of it slowly but surely, because we just don't want to keep you in the dark. We don't want to stay in the dark. We don't want, my hair is freaking out. We don't want anything left unsaid. If there's any clarifications, call our office. We're happy to help you. I'm antsy tonight. If there are any, if you're calling us or texting us, emailing us, and we're not getting back to you, if you're using our email form and we haven't gotten back to you, know this: we haven't gotten your communication. It's being interfered with on some level. The phones are working fine. We had that checked. That was an issue at one time, and that was all fixed long ago. So it's not that. You know, people have called us and said, we get this really weird sound when we call you. What's going on? Nothing. It doesn't even register that you called us. People are saying, I called you immediately after you called me and left a message. It never rang us. It never registered on our phone log that you called. So, yeah. Our mail. We showed you our physical mail. Did we show the time that the mail was opened? We still haven't opened that stuff.
Oh.
The gashes in the side of the envelopes.
We've shown that before. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Who.
Things like that. Obviously, somebody is peeking into our mail, wanting to know everything about us. That's illegal. You can't do that. We are going to track down who's been doing this. We've already tracked down a lot without really much help. And now we're getting help. Obviously, we're going to find a lot more. But you need to stop. President Trump, if you hear this, you need to know something. You need to get on your cabinet's members' asses. If you've told them to help us, if you told anybody in the Senate, the House, or anybody, you need to get on their asses and make sure that they do their job.
Agree.
Because we have a list of people helping, not helping, like Ms. DeVos. But these people know that you kick them out. Obviously, we're seeing that happen. Like, you don't do your job. So, you know, make sure she does hers. But we were told by one person, go to OCR, and then this whole cockamamie thing happened because of that. So you need to get on her and make sure that she's helping us properly. There's so much that needs to be done with our complaint that is not being done. So you need to find out if there's somebody in her office that is sorting, or if she's the responsible one. We don't know. So you need to find out. So hopefully Miss DeVos is not a rhino and she means well. We're going to find out though. And, you know, praise the Lord, she's on our side and doing what she should be doing. And if there are people who shouldn't be in her office and are holdovers, then she needs to be brave and strong and kick them out. Not yesterday, you know, too late. 2 years ago. You know, I think it's a big mistake to keep holdovers from anything. It's a nice gesture because you don't want people to lose their source of income. But you don't know if they're insiders, you don't know if they have your back, you just don't know. That's why you wipe it clean. Clean slate, start over. There's so many people that will want those positions and fill them and do a good job and do what you want implemented. How many dancers have we gone through and stuff?
A lot.
Yeah. Even if they weren't insiders or something like that, they might not have the right mindset, they might not get it, they could have pissed me off, you know, and just say, look, I'm really trying here. But, you know, could have pissed off my board, doing something they shouldn't have been. Who knows what the answer is? I'm not saying that's what happened, but we've had to do things too. Because we just didn't know. And then sometimes they left because they didn't know, and that's fine too. Dancers, we have asked you to be a part of our anniversary show. Obviously, since the accident, we did 1 or 2 shows, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kicking off our tour. Get in touch with us. If you are calling us and it's not coming through, keep trying. Eventually it'll happen. We are bitching out the phone company. I mean, you should hear me. We're getting on Google's rear end. We are getting on everybody possible that could be possibly related to any of this is happening. And we are letting them know the honest to God truth about everything. That we are filing complaints. We are doing the discovery phase. We are finding things out. And I said, you need to be on the right side of this issue. Meaning if you're doing something, stop doing it and now help us. And we're requesting materials. We need certain things. And if it goes along smoothly for us, and it'll go along smoothly for you. Otherwise, forget about it. No more mercy with bad guys, because you can't reason with them. The only thing they understand is the fist, the hand. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about physical abuse. I'm talking about putting your foot down and saying, that's enough. You're not doing this to us anymore. Pretty good. Not bad for somebody who didn't use really any money. Not bad for somebody who, I'm not an attorney, but I'm smart enough to know the law and read the law books and apply it. Not bad for somebody who, you know, just says, cut the shit. No more. Only one person have I ever showed, right?
Yeah.
That kind of patience, and it was because God said, show your character of Christ, because this person has been hurt so much. Okay. And then there was a time to say, okay, that's enough now, because I'm not doing a damn thing to you, and who's making you do this to me? You know? And we found out a lot of stuff. So, very interesting. Okay, so State of the Union, watch it. Again, these same people who were sitting down, yeah, I want to see if you stand for me. Like I said, I already know that answer. So when you stand up and applaud those nice civilians of our country, are you being a hypocrite or what? You wonder if your name's on this list? Like I said, this will probably wrap around our property, our domicile, at least 2 times, and this is only a third of it. You should be very concerned. And you are the people who are running our country and maybe ruining our lives. I have a problem with that. I have a very big problem with that. So I'm going to, and he's going to, and a whole bunch of others over here are going to set it straight. And if you reach your hand out to shake my hand, you better be a friend. I don't have to shake your hand back. I understand that. But you better be a friend. Because if you shake my hand, you're making a deal with me, whether you like it or not. And you're telling me that you are pleased to see me and that you're on my side. If that isn't the truth, stay away from me. Don't even reach out the hand. I'll know. And I'll say, okay, that's fine. You know, I like to do business very professionally and very lovingly too, but the gloves are off, like I said. I'll box you in the boxing ring without any gloves. I'll kick your tail. Wouldn't that be divine? Legitimately. Scare the crap out of most of you, I know I will. So anyhow, this little pint-sized, I don't know what I am. I'm everything, I'm nothing, you know what I mean? Is very proud of our country. I'm proud to be an American, even though it's been in a better state than it has been of late. And it's getting better. I know that. I see that.
3 minutes.
I wish, I don't know if we covered that one point. There was one more thing. It was very important.
Did you mention her ripping the speech?
No. Thank you.
Was
that was it.
Okay.
I went through everything in order, and I'm like, what am I missing? Go ahead. My throat's getting dry.
Okay, so when the president finished, Pelosi piled the papers, stood up, started ripping parts of the speech and right in half, one after the other. Clearly to make sure it got on camera.
We got screenshots of that. Miss Pelosi, you were ripping up everything that you applauded to by doing that. Mistake. Every human being that was a civilian that President Trump was honoring, even though you stood up and applauded them, you, honey, just undid it with a slight rip. Who told you to do that? Did you overhear something? Or did somebody who overheard us and recorded it heard that? Because I did say something about ripping up something. We have to go back and look at our security camera files and see. I'm just kind of wondering if somebody planted that on you as an idea. Why would you do that? Because really, now you're ripping up everything that you supported, including those civilians who lost beloveds, were reunited with beloveds, everything, because those words were written on those pages. Oops. Why would you do that? I want to know who told you to do that. And then I want to know, did somebody get that idea gleaning from our private conversations? Obviously, it wasn't addressing this. I didn't even know he had a State of the Union speech coming up. I'm trying to keep people from killing us, you know what I mean? And I had no idea. So I know whatever I was talking about was not about that. It's a state of rebellion. Oh, wait, no, I'm not going to say what it was. No, I'll tell you later. Now I'm remembering. It had nothing to do with the State of the Union speech.
30 minutes, seconds.
That's shameful behavior. Bad enough they don't want to stand and applaud. So, with that, you sent me a message, Miss Pelosi, as did your colleagues. And then the slight rip and tear of the paper. I don't trust you. Even if you reached out your hand now to help me, I'd say, you're going to stand and applaud me? And then rip the very words that were supporting me and my family? I don't think so. Okay, so the tag is, we're going to go. We love you. Beloveds and beautifuls. Please, guys, know what the hell you're doing, because it doesn't seem like you do. And I'm very free in a sense and not. I'm free in that I don't have anybody who's going to drop us as a sponsor, because we don't have any sponsors right now. It's very powerful to be in this position, actually. And if somebody did, I would pretty much tell them to go suck it. It's like, okay, fine, you showed your true colors. You don't stand for freedom of speech, and you don't stand for protecting our intellectual property, and you don't stand for artist rights and them being able to own their property and do with it what they please, which would be very bad for you. So, good. We are going to make changes. You know, be the change. Well, people say about making waves. Don't make waves, be the ocean. That's my saying, you know. Yeah. Why make waves? Just be the ocean. You know how powerful a body of water is? Pretty cool. So, again, bye, beloveds and beautifuls and beautifuls and beloveds. This is Noelle Rose Anderson signing off, and
Jay Kenneth.
yeah, and sending out the love. Do your homework. Don't take any crap from these people. Oh man. Peace.